Are you tired of getting completely destroyed in the Ghost of Yotei when it comes to parrying and dodging in this game? Don't worry, I got you. In today's video, I'm going to go over all of my strategies, tips, tricks, charms, and everything I use to make parrying a hell of a lot easier in this game. We're going to break down every single charm, armor set, and things that you need in their locations, as well as some key skills and tips that you must know that change the game for all parry users out there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and lock straight in. To start things off, let's talk about the charms you need to make parrying not only easier, but also give you a huge advantage in combat, as long as you have the right synergy. The Futsunushi charm. So, the Futsunushi charm can be found right here at the Faithful Leap Shrine. This is the charm that makes the timing windows of parrying and dodging in the game a hell of a lot easier, clean across the board. This is one of my favorite charms, and it's a charm that I put on all of my parry builds. If I don't really need parry timing and I've already mastered that fight, then I use some other charms. But when I'm in the beginning of my game or my playthrough, I definitely use this to make it a lot easier. Some other charms you may want to consider using that synergize extremely well with the Futsunushi charm, as well as some other armor sets we're going to talk about in this guide, are going to be Father's Charm, Takezo's Charm of Bolt Deflections, and the Charm of Mount Yotei. So starting off with Father's Charm, you can receive that one right over here at Mount Yotei's Shrine. Not only that one, but you can also receive Mother's Charm here as well. So if you're a bow user, that could be extremely helpful for you. Next up, if you're looking for Takezo's Charm of Bolt Deflections, you want to be over here near the Ohata Plains area. Right over here to the left is going to be a dueling tree, and this is very close by to the Amber Respite Shrine. Over here is going to be a duel that you will take on if you want to take down Takezo, which is another guide I have here on the channel. If you're trying to defeat him, go ahead and take a peek at that so you can figure out how to take him down very early in your playthrough. However, if you do take down this little guy over here, you're going to receive Takezo's Charm of Bolt Deflection. And this charm is pretty awesome because every single time you parry, it will inflict a major amount of additional stagger damage. Now, if you're looking for the Charm of Mount Yotei, you want to come right over here to the Reliquary of Courage. This is where I found my charm, and there's going to be 5 of these puzzles scattered across the map. One is going to be right here in the Grasslands area. The second one is going to be over here in the Tokaichi Range area. The puzzle in the Teishio Ridge area is all the way up here in the mountains. You're going to actually have to come here. It's a little bit off the beaten path. So when you try to take on the shrine in this location, I think the nearby shrine is right here, the Chilled Peak Shrine. When you're taking on this shrine, you actually want to go off to the side and you'll be able to find this puzzle. You can completely miss this if you don't have the Shiturainu armor on, or if you're not looking out for it, so be careful. In the Ishikari Plains area, the puzzle of strength is going to be right here in the center, a little northwest from Ishikari Fork. And then finally, the last shrine is going to be right here, the Reliquary of Faith, which is in the Oshima Coast area. All of these will power up your charm to allow you the second ability, which is going to give you a little bit of healing every single time you parry. Next up, let's talk about the 2 armor sets that will instantly change the game for you when it comes to parrying and dodging. The Master Bounty Armor as well as the Armor of the Undying are 2 sets in this game that you must have if you're interested in parrying. So let's jump things off with the Bounty Master Armor. It comes in 4 different colors. You have the Grand Hunter, Cold Blood, Mercy's Burial, and Praise Scent. My personal favorite is definitely Cold Blood. Now when it comes to the abilities on this thing, one of the abilities is kind of interesting. It's actually going to disable regular parries, so you won't be able to hold down L1 to parry automatically in the game anymore. What you're going to have to do is only go after the perfect parries and the perfect dodges. Now, it does increase these windows by a major amount. It also has an additional perk. A perfect parry enables 3 additional counterattacks, which is really amazing because when you synergize that with some of the other charms that we have, you're going to get some stagger damage in there, as well as you're going to get these additional attacks. So you could possibly kill off a lot of enemies very easily with this little combo. And of course, all your spirit gains are increased by a massive amount. But my personal favorite is going to be the Armor of the Undying. This one comes in 5 different colors. You have Summit Snow, Grave Marker, Jade Dragon, the Mountain Air, and Gilded Pride. I don't really have a favorite for this one. I love all of them. They're all different, and the drip for these is like, I don't know. This is one of the best armor sets in the game for me, but that's extremely biased. But getting over to the perks, if your weapon is aligned, which it always should be if you're trying to perfect parry in this game, staggering enemies restores a major amount of health. When your weapon is aligned, boom, right there, you have that window of parry timing that is going to be moderately increased automatically. I love that. And then finally, when your weapon is aligned, focus attacks have a moderate chance to increase stagger damage. You want to max these out to their full potential, but after doing so, these two armor sets are completely beast and will definitely help you out with perfect parry and dodging in this game. Now let's talk about how to parry some of the most difficult attacks in the game, and that's going to be the red glint attacks. Red glint attacks are going to be recognizable by a horizontal cross. As soon as you see this and it glows red, that is when you need to either dodge immediately or use the odachi. Now, if you're an odachi user, there's a couple of key things you want to unlock. First things first is going to be right over here, unstoppable strikes. This will allow you to attack uninterrupted, so nobody can stop you from your onslaught of attacks. Now, if you go all the way to the final skill in the tree, you become unstoppable force, which you then have recoverable health. This is going to be noticeable. It's going to show up gray, but you'll be able to restore all of that health after you attack enemies. Now, an amazing perk that you must have as an odachi user is going to be this one right here, Indomitable Counter. This will allow you to use the bulwark stance, and when you use the bulwark stance and time that perfectly, you'll not only get the perfect parry animation, but you'll be able to insta-kill the brute. It's pretty awesome, and it's one of my favorite attacks in the game. But let's talk about dual katana users. So they have a skill right here called Deflecting Strikes. This will allow you to automatically parry pole arm users. So as long as you align your weapons accordingly in each encounter, you're going to have a huge advantage when you're fighting all the different enemy types in the game. Just make sure you have these skills unlocked in your skill tree. Now let's talk about sound cues. Understanding the sounds in this game will definitely change how you play it. You'll be able to hear when an archer is about to shoot at you just before they notch their arrow, as long as you listen carefully. Usually they'll also scream before attacking you, so that's also something to look out for. But if you have the correct skill, you'll be able to auto block these projectiles. That skill is going to be right here in the survival tree, over here on the left. So you first have to grab this skill over here, say fall, and then you'll be able to get to the block projectile skill. This is kind of awesome because not only can you block arrows, but you also be able to block kunai, and you just hold down the L1 and it automatically blocks things. There's also a bunch of different charms in the game that synergize with this, so if you're interested in that type of build, let me know down below. I could make a separate video on that. Let's go ahead and talk about the blue glint attacks in Ghost of Yotei. So blue glint attacks are easily recognizable if you're looking out for the blue horizontal streak. As soon as you see this, you can either parry, dash, or roll to avoid them. Now the thing about these attacks are not only will you hear a sound before they do it, but sometimes the enemy will yell. That'll give you at least 1 second to go ahead and look and respond accordingly. It's also a great idea to try to align your weapon with the enemy you're fighting. So if it's a polearm user, you want to be using dual katanas. If it's an odachi user, you want to make sure that you're using katanas, so on and so forth. It's very imperative that you're always trying to align the appropriate weapon with your enemy so that you can get that synergy with your actual armor set. Now in a separate video, I'm actually going to hook up my controller to my recording software and show you guys the exact timing of when I try to dodge different enemy types. If you're interested in that type of video, consider subbing to the channel and turning on post notifications. And I would really appreciate it if you smash the like button real quick, but let's go ahead and get back into the video. Yellow glint attacks. So yellow glint attacks are going to disarm you if they land, so these are very important to either completely dodge or counter before they come in. An enemy usually is going to scream at you, and you can recognize a yellow glint attack if you see a vertical slash or a vertical streak that looks kind of like this. Get ready! Usually I completely ignore this attack and I go ahead and I attack the enemy with one of my special attacks or one of the ghost attacks in the game. One of the attacks that I use to counter are going to be this right here, the Undo Strike. This is one of my favorite attacks in the game, and you can upgrade this if you do a special secret questline for the storyteller in the Oshima Coast area. This attack unleashes a huge devastating strike that disarms the enemy. and it gives you a huge advantage in combat, so it's one of my favorite attacks in the game. If you're using the katana, you can have this right here, the Heavenly Slash ability. And this is something that I like to use when an enemy is coming in with an attack that I wasn't ready for, because you instantly will counter and go in with your own attack, slash right past them, and you get yourself into a different position. So you can kind of readjust to the situation. Now let's talk about visual cues. Now this is a lot more subtle, but you'll be able to see when an enemy is about to attack you when they load up before they swing their weapon at you. That's going to be recognizable with this animation right here. It's extremely hard to catch when you're in the thick of things, but if you pay close attention and you time it right, as soon as the weapon is starting to come towards you, that is when you want to smash the parry button. If you do that correctly, you'll be able to instantly parry and counter them with your own attack. Finally, practice. There are a lot of different enemy types in the game with different weapons, and making sure that you align your weapons so you make it easier for yourself is one thing, but practice makes perfect. You really got to get out there and just fight a lot of these different enemy types, and there's 2 locations that I like to fight specific enemies for whatever reason. In the Tashiro Ridge area, if you come right up here to the Shipwreck Shao area, it's close to the Altar of Reflection. There's also a Hana farm here. But right a little bit northwest of this location, there are enemies that automatically spawn here no matter what. They respawn about every 5 to 10 minutes in game. So if you just stand here, these enemies will automatically pull up. There's about 2 archers and 3 melee enemies, or maybe 2 melee enemies hiding in the snow. You can practice against these guys, or I like to come right down here to the training fortress. Right outside the training fortress, as soon as you spawn in, there's some enemies standing outside the gate sometimes, and I fight these guys. You can also get lucky and get the random encounter where there's a bunch of bounty hunters or the remnants of Clan Saito's army coming after you. They usually have dogs in these situations, so you got to be a little bit careful, but you can take out all these enemies and practice all of your parry timing against them. Now for the last part of the guide, I'm actually going to do this part live, so you can see my exact timing and how I make mistakes, as well as execute all my different parry timings with different enemies. So let's get into it. Alright, so yeah, dude just tried to come in for my neck and I went straight at him, but I have a pole arm user here and I have a katana user over here to my left. And there should be 2 archers. Now, what I like to do, hold on, let me block. He's coming in with a yellow attack. I'm just going to go ahead and dodge that for now. We'll block the projectiles very easily. Right there is the timing for the pole arm. And I was a little bit early for the timing when it came to the katana user. Let's see if I can catch this time. Right there. So yeah, it's a lot of practice, to be honest with you. And I don't always get it, but 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty much good to go. But remember, it's always a good idea to make sure you align to the right weapon to make it easier for yourself. That doesn't mean that you can't parry with other weapons, but it does make it easier. So since I switched over to my dual katana, I was able to take out that pole arm user very easily. We'll go ahead and disarm him and just let him think about what he did. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of damage here so you guys can see how much healing I get back. But just right there, because of our charms and everything, we were able to get back, I would say, 1/4 of our health and went right back to full after a couple of parries. So yeah, parrying in this game is essential, and once you learn how to do it, it changes your life. Now, every single time you parry an enemy, you're going to eventually break their will to fight, which is going to be that little gauge. Now, every single time you parry an enemy successfully, you're going to have that little break gauge above him. So this dude, he's about to have a bad day with me. And that's going to be pretty much it. Now, like I was saying before, you can parry with any weapon. It just takes a little bit of timing. Let's go ahead and switch over to the pole arm and see if I can get the timing for this. This is a little bit more difficult. Yeah, it's so let's switch over to the pole arm real quick and see if we can get some perfect parries in. Switching over to the pole arm, I'm not gonna lie to you, the pole arm parry timing is a little bit more difficult for me, but it is possible. Let's see if I can get it. There's one of them. That was a little bit early. Try it again. That was a little early. Got him. Right there. Ah, I'm still too early for it. There it is. Yeah, it's not impossible, but it's not really practical. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got the katana user, but the polearm user is a lot more difficult. Got him. Got him. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and take his life. In my next video, I'm going to show you guys my insane archer build. It's one of my favorite builds to use in Ghost of Yotei besides the parry build, and yeah, it's extremely devastating. You're going to be able to take out multiple enemies at the same time, and it has a lot of advantages. But if you like what I do here on the channel, make sure you smash the like button, consider subbing so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and everything else you need for Ghost of Yotei. I got you covered. It's your boy MSensei HD. For now though, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here.